Welcome back to another video, guys. Smacky OG here. I know I've been MIA for a very long time and I haven't dropped a video in a while. And truth be told, I didn't want to. I hopped on Marvel Rivals and saw that NetEase dropped the Lady Loki skin and wanted to make a fun little video that I had a nice idea for. What if NetEase made Echo Fighters for Marvel Rivals? If you've played Super Smash Bros., you're familiar with the concept where pretty much two fighters who are identical or pretty much the same, let's say Marth and Lucina, can be used as Echo Fighters. They have the same abilities, same stance, same model. There are some variations like their voice actors, their animations, the hit points, whatever. The whole premise of this video would be to incorporate different voice actors for different heroes. Again, using that same concept where we're taking the initial original hero or villain, whatever character it may be in Marvel Rivals, we're starting to get some villains, which is nice. Taking that character and giving them an echo, giving them a different variation or a different person who uses the same moniker as them, or just, however far you want to take it. If they're just like somewhat similar in a sense that they can just be merged into one hero if they didn't, whatever the case may be. But, giving them new voice actors, giving them different sort of move styles and animations, which I'll get more in depth in, and then going even further where these heroes get their own costumes unique to them. And again, I'll get more in depth with that in a second. But I think this would be super fun, especially with the recent reveal of the Lady Loki skin. I think it'd be super awesome if NetEase actually went the route of making Echo Fighters. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the case for certain heroes and skins we already got. Like, let's say Agent Venom is already a skin, and Lady Loki's already a skin. I think those would have been perfect Echo Fighters. Agent Venom, I think, would have been much better as an actual hero, a playable character. That'd be so much more fun. It'd be a merge between Spider-Man and the Punisher from the way I see things. But again, that's like this a completely different topic. That's not really going in the route of Echo Fighters. So let me get off that tangent before I go deeper. Anyways, the first character I want to talk about is obviously going to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man has so many different variations. He has the whole multiverse to pull from. I think when you think of the multiverse and Marvel, the first person and the most popular person you think of is Spider-Man. And he has so many iconic picks. The first being Miles Morales. I know that's not really a multiversal thing. He is the second Spider-Man, the second person to pick up that mantle. And I think that goes perfectly hand in hand with Echo Fighters. And I think Miles Morales is the best pick to just demonstrate what I mean. Starting off, man, he's going to have a whole different voice actor from Yuri Lowenthal, the GOAT, who actually, plays Spider-Man in so many different games from, Marvel Spider-Man, Insomniac's game series, which is amazing. And, he's played Sasuke. Pretty sure he played Ben 10. He played a couple of people on Young Justice. I gotta throw the Young Justice mention out there. I love that show. Anyways, I'm going way too far. I think Miles Morales gets a new voice actor. I think that's, given. That's a given. He gets new move styles and animations. Now, this is going back to what I was talking about. If you see Miles Morales, he has different abilities compared to Spider-Man, right? Compared to Peter Parker. He has the Venom Strike, which is, the electricity powers that he gets. He has some invisibility, which I don't think we should be putting into this game, especially since they're so, movement heavy with being Spider-Man. I think you just add some pizzazz and some effects around Miles Morales' hands. His when he shoots his webs, just get a little orange electricity every time, especially when it does an uppercut. I think that's a nice little touch that would work perfectly for Miles. And then you could go even deeper. You go Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. He gets his nice, jagged arm blades, whatever you want to call them. Those would be nice. You could even incorporate different moves. Like he has a lower uppercut punch, but it does damage over time because he scratches his opponent. I think things like that going very niche and very nuanced in that sense, similar to how I brought up Marth and Lucina, where Marth has all of his damage focused at the tip of his blade, while Lucina's is balanced across, balanced throughout. It's the same ability, just a different variation of it. And I think that would work perfectly for Echo Fighters, especially these two that I mentioned. You can even go further and bring up Spider Gwen. Gwen Stacy can even take up the mantle of Spider-Man in this game as another Echo Fighter. I think that's just another way that NetEase can differentiate themselves within this genre and can even just survive hero shooters in general. I mean, they've done an amazing job. It's been already over a year. Props to them. Love NetEase, love Marvel Rivals. I think it's a great game. But they could take that step further, and they have proved themselves to be making huge advancements within their games. And I don't think they're ever going to stop. They listen to their fans. But yeah, this is again, I don't want to get too far into praising NetEase. Let's get on with the video. But yeah, that just kind of wraps up Spider-Man for me in a sense. Again, I think he's the most obvious pick to have Echo Fighters, and I think he has the most you can pick from besides just making different skins or different costumes. That'd be nice to have separate voice actors, separate heroes, mainly is what I want to talk about. Now, another pick that I'd have that's kind of obvious is Hulk. Again, you can say these could all just be different skins, different costumes for the Hulk, but these are all different people. You got Red Hulk. I think that's the most obvious one. Red Hulk is a completely different person. Thunderbolt Ross, man, come on. A-Bomb. A-Bomb's sick, bro. If you've watched Agents of Smash, he's in there. The Blue Hulk guy, he's tough. I rock with him heavy. And all these guys can have the same moveset. Again, like what I'm saying. You got the same 1-2 combo, whatever punches that the Hulk does. His paralysis beam, I don't even know what they're called. His clap, his ultimate. Same thing with the Spider-Man is what I'm saying. Like, you just do little touches here and there, make new effects, new sound effects, new voice actors, and it works, man. This is gonna be fire. You can even do Scar for Hulk, his son. She-Hulk would be a fun one. I mean, a lot of people would want her as a separate hero, which again, I'm not opposed to. I'm not opposed to anyone being a separate hero. I just think it makes much more sense to have Echo Fighters, given how many characters Marvel has to pull from, or NetEase in the sense has to pull from the Marvel comics to make to make fighters, to make rivals. And yeah, I mean, there's so many people that they can pull from. Again, going even further with Hulk, you can add some villains into this game and have Abomination as the first villain Echo Fighter, which again I think works perfectly with this game. These are such good opportunities for Medis to, profit off of. I understand that there's so many characters that people want to play as, but let's be honest, man, if they're making a character every single month, they're only making 12 characters a year. And truth be told, Marvel has so many different heroes and villains that they could pull from that the most niche ones, the most popular ones, aren't always going to get picked. And, we just want to increase our chances to actually get these people to play as. And truth be told, let's be honest, man, this is probably not going to happen, but I wish it would because I said that about the battle passes returning as reruns, and I didn't think NetEase would do that, but they ended up doing it for a higher price, exactly like I said exactly a year ago or so, however long it's been, because I missed season zeros and I wanted to buy it, and then I bought it when it was a rerun for a higher price as compared to when it was actually dropped. And I mean, I just wanted to bring that up because NetEase does listen to the fans. They do the things that we want them to do. So if I bring this up, maybe there's a chance down in the line where they actually make Echo Fighters. All right, let's get back on topic, man. I'm rambling OD right now. Next person I really want to talk about is Black Panther. Off rip, just coming off the top of the head, man. Killmonger. Killmonger's tough, bro. That dude is so cool. He got the tough outfit. I know this is kind of a stretch with Killmonger, but I'm solely basing it off of Michael B. Jordan's performance. I did not read any Black Panther comics. I'm not super familiar with his lore, so I don't know if this would be a completely different character. But I think it should be good food for thought. It'd be a nice Echo Fighter. You could have a different voice actor. You could have some variation of his abilities. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see. And just to give a better example, we could do Shuri, man, his sister. That'd be super nice to have as another Black Panther. Again, a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, she should be a different character." I'm all for it, man. I'm all for all these people being different characters, but I think they fit as Echo Fighters. Now, going back to a point I mentioned earlier with characters we wanted to see take up the mantle but aren't in the game, I think the number one pick for that is Iron Fist, man. I think Danny Rand would be perfect as an Echo Fighter in Marvel Rivals. That's like the standout pick. He fits perfectly, genuinely the definition of an Echo Fighter. He had the mantle of Iron Fist at one point. He should be an Echo Fighter. That move set should not really change much. It should just be the voice actor. It should be some, animations, a different move set. Not a different move set, but like, change it up a little bit, just the way it, you know, plays. I don't really know how to explain it. And, give these people, all these people that I'm saying, man, they could have their own costumes. You could even just have them as Echo Fighters with the same costumes that all these people have, like with Spider-Man. All the, what I don't even know what his costumes are called, but like you give those costumes variations based on, Miles Morales, boom, there you go, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Gwen. The Hulk has Maestro. If we get a Red Hulk Maestro, that'd be sick. An A-Bomb Maestro, a Scar Maestro, She-Hulk Maestro, and even Abomination Maestro. All that would be nice, man. Like getting these variations and different costumes. So it's like you have a two-in-one customization. And then, other people taking up the mantle, like just going back to that idea. We got Wolverine, X-23, man. That's a perfect shout. It's like works perfectly. Exact same move set, different voice actor, different sound effects, different, visualization, different animations. Again, same thing I keep talking about. The whole premise of this video and the whole idea of Echo Fighters is that these people's abilities, all these characters, their abilities wouldn't change. And these would not be the same as skins. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they should just make these people skins. I think these characters specifically deserve more than just a skin in the game. I think they should be close to playable. I mean, this is making them playable in a sense, but they don't have a separate character slot. I think this does enough justice where they're semi-playable, they're semi their own character to the point where it's like, okay, I have some clarity. I get to play as Miles Morales now. Spider-Man obviously makes more sense. Peter Parker, in that sense, makes more sense to play as Spider-Man. But now I have the option to play Miles Morales, and you know what? I get to have fun with a new voice actor. I get to have fun with new sound effects. I get to have fun with all these cool animations, especially with his Venom Strike, his electricity powers that like show up but they don't do much. It's just cool to see. I have the ability to play this character in a way that, resonates with who I enjoy as Spider-Man, for example. Some people like Miles Morales more, some people like Spider-Man, Peter Parker as Spider-Man more. I'm not gonna get into that, but just to touch on those fans and give them some, I don't know, justice. I guess you could say. Yeah, going a little further with this. I mean, I'm done talking about characters, and you guys can write your own characters in the comments who you would want to see as Echo Fighters for who. Like if you want to see Miles Morales for Spider-Man, stuff like that. You could do I don't know, Flash Thompson for Venom instead of Eddie Brock. Whatever. That's a whole other story which I didn't even think about bringing up. No, don't even think about symbiotes, bro. I didn't even think about them. There's, Venom, Carnage, uh, Phage, whoever you want to say, or Riot, right? All these people could have whatever. I'm getting so deep right now, but every single one of those symbiotes could have different voice actors. They could have different animations. They could have, the same abilities, but just look different and just play a little differently, even though it's the same model, same character. I think that's fire. But yeah, let me just wrap this up real quick by just saying these Echo Fighters would not be the same as skins. I know I mentioned that a few times. I'm finally saying it, just finalizing it now. I think these should have a separate category within the customization screen and just, allow these people to be Echo Fighters with their own skins, with their own costumes. Or just, keep the skins and costumes, just change the model. Change the hero, change the villain. Just change the character to whoever you're playing as. And yeah, man, that kind of just wraps up the video. Uh, Let me know what you thought about it. If you guys like Echo Fighters, you think it'd be a nice concept for Marvel Rivals to touch up on. Who would you like to see in the game as an Echo Fighter, and for what characters? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully, I get back on my grind 2026, just dropping videos. I'm kind of just been, again, I got other priorities now, man. Don't have as much time. But and truth be told, I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. But hopefully, if I get, you know, if I can make more fun videos like this, I'll get back into it. This is just sort of just for fun. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Catch y'all in the next one.